Hey everyone, Anthony 4x4 Diesel. We're here just doing a bit of a diff swap. Wheels off, drain the oil. We've got to get these ABS sensor plugs undone, so I've just hit those with compressed air so we can get to the clip. I'm also going to put a bit of like CRC inox product on there to help them release and slide off. You can see the little tab, so carefully get those unplugged. Then we've got these 4 nuts behind there. It's also pays to take this 12mm off the handbrake cable here to allow the axle to come out far enough to clear the center carrier that's going to be coming out. And we need to remove this tail shaft, 4 bolts, and we should be able to tie it up nice and high out of the way without completely removing it. So far what I've done is use the pipe spanner to crack that loose after spraying some inox. Pop the clip off, zip this off, and just pop it out of the bracket. So that you can pull the axle out. And we've also put a couple of clamps on the brake lines up there to help the fluid stop coming down while it was disconnected momentarily, but I'll gravity bleed the brakes once we're done. And we don't forget to unplug your ABS sensor, because as you can see it's fixed to the diff, and when you pull the axle out you don't want to bust your sensor. If you wanted to, like I said, you get under that 10mm, pop the sensors out, give them a bit of a clean up anyway, but they should be pretty clean. If they're not, you might have problems. Don't forget replacing these axle bearings also at about 350,000 Ks if you're going to travel a long way from home is a good idea. Obviously, same thing at this side. These plugs can be quite tight, so we used a lot of compressed air to clean it. Then we sprayed inox on there. They were still fiddly, so what you want to do, because they're a bit older, you normally just press on this back tab here from memory. All right, but it wasn't doing a lot. So you've got this little tab in the middle there. See that piece right in the middle there at the end of my finger? Just get a little pick and just get under it and lift it up. And if you've got a helper like I have, thanks for your help, Mark.
No worries.
So while I was sort of lifting it, you know, you just got to wiggle and pull a lot. I've wiped a lot of the dirt off, but the spray softens it up a bit. You can see all that grit in there. It's like glue, and the dirt from the mud just sticks all these plugs on. So you just got to take your time nice and slow. Same thing over here, just get that out of the bracket. Happy days. And now we've removed the 4 nuts, the bolts, and see that O-ring sitting there? Just be careful, it needs to go back into position correctly. Might give that a bit of a wipe clean. These bearings have been done. You can see a little bit of wetness there. So does that mean a little bit of oil's getting past the axle seal? Could be. We'll have a closer look as we progress on the job, but that is looking grey and wet, which means oil's coming past the seal to the bearing. That's not good. So these wheel bearings have been replaced. They're not that old. They've probably done about 100,000 Ks max, probably less. I'd have to think hard to work it out. It looks to me, obviously some oil's got past the seal to the bearing, and what it does, it washes the grease out, as you can see, which doesn't mean this bearing's noisy. Normally the bearing's more of a rumble, which I don't think it was a rumble, but then, because I'm thinking in my head, oh, the bearings are done, it's not that, it's got to be the diff. So I could be wrong about all this. So what do? Do we change the bearing, put it back together to make sure it's all right? Or do we change the diff anyway, since we got the diff here and we're going to put it in anyway, then we've got a spare diff? Or do we just change the diff and put this back together because we think it's the diff? We need to do something to diagnose that this is or isn't the problem. So there's a lot of thoughts at the moment. Better pop the other side out, yeah? This is the passenger side out. And I was going to say, now that's what it should look like. But see, that's quite rusty as well. That says to me the O-ring on the sensor is not sealing. That's what I believe, for there to be that much rust in behind there. That means a bit of water's got in there. And this bearing is, what's the word when it's questionable? It's, you know the word, put in the comments. You know, there's a word like in doubt, questionable. You can't trust it, you're not sure about it. There's a word. Anyway, could have got past the O-ring as well. So new bearing and a new O-ring usually seals that up. Hard to tell 100% what's been leaking, but this oil, the seal in here, which you can't really see at the moment, there's a seal in it, stops the oil coming out of the diff to the bearing. The bearing's not lubricated by the oil. It's not meant to be. The other one is. Yeah, you can see that's where the seal sits, and the rust has come from the inside out. So I don't think it's come past the O-ring. It looks pretty good on the O-ring surface, this taper here. It looks like, yeah, the ABS sensor at the front there could be the culprit. Anyway, There'll be more videos on this job. What size are these bolts, mate?
14.
You sure?
Yeah.
Well, I thought they were 14, but I wasn't as sure as you. Why would that be?
All right. Oh, I've done a fair bit of working on cars lately, on farm cars.
So you're a bit of a farm truck mechanic, mate.
Yeah, there's been a bit of that going on.
Well, if you take them out on the tracks and keep them at the farm, you'd be working on those every weekend.
Yeah.
So I still think it's the diff. So I've got a diff here. I've spent the money. We're going to put the diff in to diagnose if it's the diff, put it back together, and then we'll let you know if I stuffed up again, because it does happen. That's why you watch the videos, and you can save some money from my mistakes and learn. Lucky I can afford it, and I'll have a new diff anyway. And we might have a new home for this diff anyway, whether it's buggered or not. And when I say buggered, everybody saw in the previous video, if you missed it, how clean the oil is. It's got new bearings in it. So there's a good chance there could be absolutely nothing wrong with it. Or it could be just a bit noisy because it's a bad setup, but it still works fine. Perfect for a farm truck, but we'll find out which one it is hopefully by the end of this video. Mate, can you handle that on your own?
See how we go.
All right, a bit feely, just take your time. They get a bit stuck going in and out. You just got to keep it nice and square, gently manoeuvring, and bloody always this sway bar gets in the way eventually. I don't want to have my finger there at the wrong time.
I think the axles are out.
Oh yeah, the axles aren't far enough. All right, let's sort that out. Just for reference, this is how far the axles are out now. Just getting towards the end of the taper. Let's have a look at the other side. Same sort of thing. All right, let's see if that works. I'll come around here. All right, hit that, mate. So there you go. Oh no, it's still hitting this one. Hang on. I'll give it a little bit more, which means it's probably hitting that one as well. I think I can still feel it. So you've got to come out a bit more. Hang on one sec. I'll check the other side. Just give it a wriggle and I'll feel this side. I want to see, but yeah, it's definitely catching. Hang on a sec. Wait there, wait there, wait there. All right, now it's hanging out a fair way. That's, you know, try that. That's how it's meant to come out. A bit more like just gently, it's going to get heavy. There you go. Look at that, mate. Beautiful. We're a bit excited to have a look at this crown wheel and pinion, aren't we? I reckon lay it on its side so we can see as much as we can. Maybe get this side facing up, put this side down, so we can get a good look at these teeth. So some of the diff experts that are watching can tell us what they think. There is a bit of marking there that looks unusual. See that on the outside of the tooth there? See, I'm no diff specialist. Again, I keep telling people that. But see on the outside of that tooth? Yep, that'll be the wine from the bad setup. On this side, I reckon that's what it is. So all the bearings and everything are good. It's just experts. Hit like for the camera work. Hit like because we're trying to help everyone. But experts that know more than me, come on, tell us. Is that flogged or what? I look, I go, it's the markings are going too close to the edge. They're going all the way up to the edge. Right, so I reckon it's a bad setup. And I'm no diff specialist, but I reckon this is too far away from the pinion for the marking to be right up on that edge there like that. And therefore it's sort of polishing, wearing it off right up to the edge of the tooth, yeah? You see what I mean? Let's go and have a look at the new one, and you won't see, well, it hasn't got wear marks on it, but see up this end of the tooth, see how you can see the edge? Right at the end of, I need to get my laser. You know how you can see what I'm, right there at the end of my finger, but up this end you can't see the edge, all right? That's where the problem is, and it's going off the end of the tooth as well, right? So bad setup. Set up by Carl's Diffs in Melton, so I really got to say it. I mean, if it's a good setup, then it's a good setup. If it's a bad setup, then it looks like a bad setup, and to the point that I reckon you're going to end up, feel that edge there, go on, have a feel for yourself. So Carl, you know, if you watch this video, let me know why there's no warranty on poor workmanship. Run your finger this way, have a feel of that top edge there, feel that sharpness on the top edge. Maybe I am a diff expert after all. I reckon I go okay on most things. Yeah, you feel that?
Yeah.
That's where the problem is, right? So 100%. That's why we didn't find metal from bearings and whatever. but this is just a bad setup. The pinion is it's too far away. It's set up at the wrong distance here. That's why it's too far down this end of the tooth. See, there's looking at it more, you can see there's a heap of knot wore up this end and worn at that end. So you know what, this could be a V-cat, man. I might go and hit him with a bill for the diff, for the replacement diff, because you know what, I don't put up with this crap, and I reckon other people shouldn't as well. And this is how I roll, and I reckon everybody else should as well. That's why I help you look after your cars and whatever, because this is the sort of crap that happens. The evidence is here in front of us. So what I'm going to do now, I've done the right thing. I've got a video of how clean the oil is. I'm going to take him this diff. I'm going to say this is a rubbish setup, and we'll see what he says then. Eh? So looking at the marks, you can see the wear is not on the inside of the tooth back here like it should be. It should be closer to the edge. It's going all the way out, which says the pinion is too far out is part of it, and it could also be the distance. The whole setup, again, I'm not a diff specialist, but this is completely wrong. This is a bad setup. To feel a bit of a sharp edge there, and what we're seeing, absolutely terrible, bad setup. Okay, so I've just picked this up and I'm turning this. It's notchy as all hell, but do you want to just get it up on its balance point and just have a play with it and see if you can talk about what you're feeling besides tight to get it moving? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Feel that, turn it though, turn it and feel it. Just keep going back and forward, and feel that notchiness, yeah?
Yeah.
Not even 50,000 Ks. From memory, it's about 50,000. Could be 60, could be 40. Terrible, huh?
Yeah.
Amazing it just works so well, and there's no metal in there either, right? Quite clunky, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, here's a good one for people that are, you know, do that really slow, can you? Once you get it moving, move it really slow so people can see. The diff experts can tell us more. So it jams up on you when you go too slow. So it's like he's over tightened that pinion bearing. And it's pulled it too far back that way. That's why we're not seeing the meshing on the inside. Where's that laser? All right, with the laser, there it is. There's the laser. See that edge there? It's got nothing on it. And all the wear is down here, and see how it's really shiny? That really shiny, no, it shouldn't be that really shiny, I don't think, as a non-diff expert. Yeah, it's like the pinion needs to be further in this way, you know what I mean? Anyway, I'm just becoming a diff expert here, right? So there you go. How's that new one, mate, with the plastic bag in the way?
Beautiful, smooth.
Bit notchy?
No.
Really tight?
No.
This has got no wear on it. But just to give an idea, you'll see the wear pattern, but you won't see, it'll shine up a little bit, but it shouldn't end up like, and we've got to remember to have a bit of string off there too, that bit of wire, but anyway. You can see the wear right kind of in the middle. Anyway, they've put their, yeah, that's it, they've checked it. You can see the marks, right? And it's a new diff, so you're not going to get, I don't think you're going to get the long tooth pattern. When we pull it out again in another 5 years, if you subscribe with the bell on, we'll show you what it looks like then, but it's bloody beautiful. That's why I just went for new, genuine. I'm not a diff specialist. If the diff specialist is not a diff specialist, where are you left? You're left at get a diff while you can, or become a diff specialist and do it yourself. Going in, always be careful of this gasket. This is one of the concerns you've got to be very careful of. It'll be fiddly to get in. Now, what you've got to think is, have you got it up the right way?
I think so.
Yeah, it's something you've got to take note of, because I've got to be honest, it always messes with me. And I think it's upside down, man. I think take careful on the gasket. I think you've got it upside down. I could be wrong. How dumb am I? This is on video, and neither of us are really sure about which way it is. You'll see it when you look at it, whether it looks right once you hold it around the right way or the wrong way. And I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure the flat side goes at the top, and the side with the fall comes to the bottom. And just be, if you can, please be careful of that gasket. So try and get it up, get the arse up. If you need a hand, I'll put the camera in and give you a hand. This is the idea, to try and show you how difficult it is, everyone, because it's a pain in the butt. No, that's upside down 100%. So you were right the first time, I messed you around. So you're smarter than me is the main thing, right? 4x4 diesel Anthony doesn't know which way diff goes. But you know when you go to put it in though, I conned you pretty easily though, didn't I? Because it just feels all wrong, doesn't it?
It's
Yeah.
hitting this.
And this is what happens, and it didn't hit much coming out, did it?
No.
So what's going on? So you got to get it really nice and square. Take it slow. So I can give you some guidance that it's got to go up higher. Twist it around. Yep, that's it. Slowly, that's it. It's touching here, but so it's got to go out a bit at that side. That's it. Nice and slow, and it'll just slow and steady, and it'll pop right on in. That's it. You're in. Beautiful. Look at that. Give that a push. I'll go get the nuts and bolts and washers, nuts and washers.
I'm looking at this and like it looks like it's
Saying
offset like one bolt hole maybe.
Yeah. So what I can say. So you're looking at it going, it looks wrong, and this isn't, and all that. It can't go in unless it's right, is what I know. And I was looking at the side, and the axles line up. So yeah, you couldn't be like a bolt hole out twisted type thing. So no. So both of us are a bit NQR, not quite right, you know. Okay, so that diff is in, and the propeller shaft's going back on now. And I just want to have a look at these seals and that. You can see how average it looks. So there's certainly going to need to be some bearings replaced, but it's not going to happen today. So we'll get the diff in. I want to separate the jobs to make sure the diff does make it quiet, which I'm 99.999999% confident. And I kind of want to see how long we get out of these bearings. Like I said, I'll work out more accurately how many Ks they've done. But now that we know there's some water being get in there, I'll spray a little bit of stuff to clean it out. And I'll put something, I'll redo that ABS sensor and put a bit of RTV down the hole, because I believe that's where the water might be coming in. I'll have a closer look at that. But if there's some water coming in, see the telltale right there? That's what I think, but I could be wrong, because I don't believe it's coming past this O-ring here in the back end of things. And obviously not getting past this seal either. So I'm gonna clean this seal. When you got this out, the axle isn't actually hitting on the seal, which is good, but don't pull them out past. This is the distance you need to clear the diff, right? So once you get to the flat, I'm gonna estimate 15 to 20 mil from there. Right, from there to the flat area, that distance is on the Prado. How far you need it out if you just want to do a diff swap? Same thing here, about 25 mil at this side. So about 20 millimeters is what you're looking at. Yeah, that is leaking a bit of brake fluid, but that's all right, I got more. Clean it all up a bit, get it back together, hopefully stop the leak, and we'll just see what happens. And this, definitely oil, has got to the, let me get this out of the way, and I'll show you what this looks like, right? 100%, that is. And I suppose for the wise people that hang around long enough, they're going to learn and get the best info. Yeah, that's brake fluid still dripping down, because I just nipped it. Like I said, we won't run out, we've got more there. So I'll give you the rundown what we did here, and then I'll tell you what the cause of the problems so far, as we already have, because we need to find the causes to avoid it for next time, right? So over here, we've given that rust a good cleanup. I believe it's the ABS sensor that's leaking. I'm gonna sort that out soon. Cleaned it all up. MX Inox, MX3, MX4, wet and dry, a lot of treatment, then some copper-ease, clean the O-ring, put it back together, and you'll notice the seal in there was a black rubber seal, I remember. Wouldn't you agree, assistant? No, he's gone for a smoke, that's right. Black rubber seal, which I'm going to show you the one. So that side's back together, other than the caliper, the brake line, and cleaning the ABS sensor and sealing up that O-ring, because I believe it's sitting up the top here. I'll get to that later in the video. See here up the top where all the crud sits, up on top of that sensor there, see where it will come in. This side's not leaking, which is great. So we've definitely got a problem at that side. This side has got a bearing that's had some grease washed out of it with the oil from the diff that's coming past this seal. It's not meant to come past this seal, but what I've got in my hand here is two seals, and what I would like you to take note of is this seal here, the type of seal it is. See how it's black rubber, right? And you might wonder in a minute, why did you put that there? I'll tell you. Let's go to the bench. I've got the genuine seal and the aftermarket seal, which is what's in here, which is the cause of the problem. Once again, not taking my own advice. Rest assured, if we work on your vehicle, or any of our workshop partners do, or I supply any kits to your vehicle, including front or rear wheel bearing kits, which we can, we've got them on the shelf there, ours come with a genuine seal. This is the genuine seal it comes with. These are almost bulletproof. There's a chance they can leak, but they're very good. Now these seals were replaced when I did the diff. You can check the playlist. There's a diff locker playlist on our YouTube channel. I did those seals again when I had the axles out, when I did the diff, because that's how I roll. But what I'm likely to do, and this is what happens like now, I'm doing some R&D, putting it back together without changing the seals. We'll see how long it lasts, or I might pull it apart again another day, put a genuine seal in there without changing the bearing. I know you can get 30,000 Ks out of a bearing without changing it after it's had oil in it. And I think this one's had less oil in it, but I'm not sure. But if we do it twice, we'll know for sure. When it gets noisy, I'll change it later. It's not even noisy yet. But this black rubber seal, can you do me a favour, mate? Can you please open that up? Is the cause of the problem why it's leaking prematurely. It's only been in there the same time as the diff, about 50,000 Ks. So it's massively premature. And that's the seal right there. And you can see that's the type of seal that's in the vehicle. And these are some aftermarket seals from a bearing shop that tell you, oh yeah, you know, they're good quality seals and all that sort of thing. But the first problem you can see, look on the inside of the seal here. See, it's smooth. It doesn't have any lines on it whatsoever. This is a budget seal. This is rubbish, okay? See this seal here, besides being quality and the type of rubber it is, see there's some little lines there, and that's designed so that if you do get any oil there or any grit, as the axle turns, that surface pushes everything either in or out. See, that lines go both ways, so the seal can go on either side of the car. There's no left or right. Either set of those will work left or right, doesn't matter which way an axle or whatever turns, and push any oil or crud or anything back the way it came from. Pretty easy to understand, isn't it? And of course it's quality, and who's it made by? It'll be an NOK, if you have a look at that seal there, because NOKs are okay. It doesn't really, there, I have to stay back there, see? Does it see that NOK? NOK? NOK, see? NOK seals, so if you want to get NOK seals, they're okay.
I wonder how they feel, like the type of rubber in there. Does it feel any different? Yeah, these feel like a bit softer, more pliable.
Yeah, really, okay.
A little bit.
And this one's tighter and harder, like, and it still
harder,
leaks.
yeah.
Because all the, whatever's some crap, some oil, it's just not doing the job, is it? It's working on one side, but not the other, but only 50,000 Ks. So you know what'll be going in there next time. We've done the R&D. I've told people about using genuine seals and parts. Anything, any of the parts kits, the injector kits you get from me, the engine, the BFE kits, it's all genuine or OEM stuff. So it's the best value for money you can get. It's the best parts. Do it once, do it right. This is an R&D vehicle, small problems, but R&D done. I'm not doing this again. Anybody wants some of these seals? I've got some there, you can have them, they're free. Just come pick them up. So we've got it all back together. We're just gonna now work on this ABS sensor here, which is a bit problematic coming out. The stud came out, you get that, but see up the top all the crud sitting there? And this is where I reckon the dirt, the mud, and that's after before we worked on it, I gave it a good blow, and that's what didn't come out, you know, blowing. And so I'm gonna get something to scrape all that mud out of there, and we've got to get this sensor out. Pretty sure this is where water's going to be getting into bearings at the top there. So might be time to start thinking about replacing O-rings and stuff on these cars as they get older. So we're going to check out the sizing of the O-ring and see what we can do. But for today, it'll probably end up being a whole heap of copperies or maybe some RTV, but I want to be able to get it out, so probably copperies. Right, have a look at that. Do you reckon that's where bring that light around onto it? You can see it's very rusty up the top there. And there's, I'm pretty sure that's where it's going to be coming. You wouldn't have rust around the hole like that. And that O-ring, of course, it's not sealing. So copperies, that's just from me putting the rest of it together on the end of the sensor. They'll wipe that off. But up here, I'm going to fill all this area here with copperies after I clean this up. Should do the job, hopefully. So I've just given that a quick clean. And see that O-ring there? It is just flat as a tack. So ideally, it needs a new one. You can see some cracks in it even. Well, you might not be able to, but I can. Definitely. So we need to source this O-ring, but I'm not going to pull it off now because I'm not in a position. So I'm going to estimate that's about 5 or 6 mil by 1.5. So I'm going to source a bunch of O-rings, draw a circle around 5 or 6 mil, probably grab 5, 6s and 7s at about 1.5 mil thick. And I'll try them out next time we work on this and do these axle bearings, whatever. So stay tuned, subscribe, turn the bell on. For now, I'm going to put some copperies to stop more water going in there. And we'll see if that worked. Catch on the next video. Bada bing, bada boom. Hope you learned something. Hit the like button. Catch on the next one.